Hello, everybody. Christopher Tompkins here from the Bulletproof Marketer, and welcome to our show. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about something that you don't want to think about right now, which is fall, autumn, winter planning for your marketing strategy. I know how exciting. It's summer. I want to do things. I want to take some time off. Good for you. Guess what? Everybody else is doing that. So, what do you have the advantage of having? A little bit of silence, a little bit of time to contemplate. So, I want to show you some things that you should be thinking about while you have that time to contemplate before we jump into September and that boulder of marketing planning is going to start rolling your way really fast. Okay, so we're going to talk about that on today's episode with some other little tidbits that I hope help you look at marketing in the next few months a little bit differently. If you are joining us for the first time, I want to give you a big old welcome. We've been doing this show for about 13 years, and all of our information is in our podcast channel. So if you want to listen to past episodes and see how I've changed, please check it out. There's a lot of evergreen content, meaning that it's good information no matter when you get it. So please take a look at our past videos on YouTube, and also anywhere that you're listening to this podcast right now. There are episodes that you can find out more about what has happened in the past. So, if you want some more information in terms of how you can be a better, stronger digital marketing, especially in this age of AI, I urge you to go to thegoagency.com. That is my digital marketing agency. We've been around for over 16 years. So, I've worked with lots of people out there and lots of different industries. Big, small, local, global campaigns, everything in between. So on our website, there's the blog section. You can check out all the blogs that we've written, lots of great information there. Also, there's a link to my LinkedIn if you'd like to connect. Again, all of these links are going to be in the show description, no matter where you're consuming this. But really, the objective here is for me to share with you information that I get through my conversations each week between clients, potential clients, staff members, collaborators, and everything in between, or even podcast interviews that I've done, and share with you the cream of the crop that I'm seeing that you could really utilize in your own marketing of your business or in your current position. All right, so easy peasy, check us out and get things rolling. I'm going to start off the show before I get into the key element of getting ready for the fall and the winter marketing plans with a little bit of a short rant of things that drive me absolutely crazy. I understand that a lot of people out there are very busy. Okay, we all know this, right? Everyone's busy. There's so many things going on and whatever. Although we have calendars, we have calendar reminders, we have everything possible to keep us on track. So, my question to the universe is, why are people still late? Why are people still struggling to manage their time properly? It's happened to me a few times lately, and I'm thinking, okay, I am a pretty busy person because I run an agency. I also consult. I also volunteer. I have a lot of different things that are going. So if I have to attend a call and I'm going to be late, I make sure to let everybody know as soon as I possibly can. Never let people wait. Even if I'm on a call with somebody else and it's something I have to get onto, I will shoot a Slack, shoot an email, just say, hey, whoever I'm on the call with, can you just give me 1 second? I have a hard stop, but I know that we're going to go over. Just want to make sure that no one's waiting for me. That is a professional courtesy that will help you draw yourself closer to the person that you are engaging with. All right. So, what happens when you show up to a meeting and it was a meeting that you didn't create and the person that you were waiting for is 10 minutes late? Are you patient for those 10 minutes? Or do you start getting a little bit edgy? I personally feel immediately disrespected. Now, that is my prerogative. You could be maybe more, okay, well, let's give them another 5 minutes. Let me tell you something, in my business, time is money. So if you are going to make me wait, or you're going to extend a waiting room, a Zoom waiting room for 10 minutes, that's beyond unprofessional, right? So what I'm saying is that in a situation like that, person immediately goes down in my estimation. Also, that person would lose any sort of referral base from me, any sort of service base with me, unless there was a really clearly outlined reason why. Why is that? If you cannot handle me professionally? How are you going to handle anybody in my trusted network professionally? Or how are you going to deal with my team when I'm not around? Are you just going to cancel, not show up, come 25 minutes late, go, oh, sorry, I just totally forgot about this meeting that you called? So if you are the originator of the meeting and you are holding the meeting, you better be there first. You better be there a minute early. So I've been in many situations where I've not even held the meeting and I've been maybe working with a collective or working on a project with a few other people. And I'm the one that's there and it says waiting for host to join. And then you're looking at your clock and you're like, okay, so if I'm waiting, everybody else that's on this call is waiting as well. And everyone else is also clock watching. They have Slack messages that are coming and they need to field. There's emails. There's stuff that we have to do. So just kind of a rant and also a piece of advice. If you are someone that's guilty of doing that, I understand. Fix it though, because it is going to hurt your credibility with the other people that are on that call, whether you're hosting or attending. It doesn't make you look better. It doesn't elevate you. It doesn't make you look more professional. It makes you look like you have poor time management skills and that every single thing, maybe you have a whole bunch of automatic updates saying, oh, I'm looking forward to the meeting. Here's the reminder. It shows that you didn't do any of that and you're not paying attention to your automation. So why would I be looking at you for a marketing opportunity or a business opportunity? So I think it's just something that I want to throw out there because I've experienced it a few times in the last week. And these are important, crucial meetings that I had and or opportunities that someone else would have received based off of those meetings. And after that happened, kind of browned me off a little bit. Again, disclaimer, I'm not unreasonable at all, but I think it's unreasonable to not provide a reason, do any sort of touch base, etc. Whether it be a podcast opportunity or it is a business opportunity, or you're presenting your website ideas to a whole team of people, or even if you're just the moderator, show up first if you started the meeting and be ready to go. So that is rant over. And let's talk about what's up next for us, which is the fall and winter marketing campaigns. All right. So, right now, if you're listening to this, we're in August. So, what happens in August? Everyone says the same thing, right? Summer's so slow. Summer's just really like not the time for us. And I want to move this project forward, but everyone's on vacation. So, these are things that I hear a lot as a marketer, as a salesperson, as anything else in my agency. I've heard it a lot. In terms of summer being the slow time, I don't necessarily feel like it's ever a slow time because I like to pre plan. And pre planning really is not just coming up with what the strategy would look like for the future months, but also coming up with the full delivery method and all of the content and doing that. And if you're doing that on a rolling basis, you're always going to have a high level of work that you can get through on a consistent basis rather than these big, huge projects that have to pass through an anaconda like a cow, like an anaconda swallowing a cow and just moving it through. That's a big thing to digest, and it's going to take a lot of time to get through, which means there's going to be stress. And if you're feeling that stress, the rest of your team's going to feel stress. Then the person that you're reporting to is also going to feel that you didn't have any insights, you didn't think about it ahead of time, et cetera, et cetera. So it starts getting a little bit more stressful. What's the last thing that you want to deal with when you're thinking about bringing your kid around to do trick or treat at the end of October? Or if you're planning for a family Thanksgiving or welcoming your kids back from college or university, and then going into the holiday season, we're celebrating Hanukkah and Christmas and everything in between. So why would you want to stress yourself out then? So when I started my agency back in the 1800s, one of the things that I was finding was I was looking at everything with a 30-day window. I had an overriding strategy, but I was really looking at 30-day windows. What I didn't think about were all the eventualities that would pop up that would deter me from completing my objectives. Say, for example, what are your objectives that you want to finish out the year with? Are you behind on your sales quotas? Are you behind on your growth online? Is your email list sucking? Are you not making enough sales through your email programs or your digital ads? What are your true goals? I hate to say this, folks, but a lot of you out there listening to this don't know what those goals are. And it's too early to tell. It ain't. It's not, right? So if you look at say we're in the middle point of the year because we have August, September, October, November, December. So we have 5 months left. So we're beyond half point. So if that is true, what else is true? We already have a really solid model of how your business is progressing over the past 6 months or whatever. So if that is the case, why can't you figure out fourth quarter or even like the end of the third quarter? Chris, everything that we do, it happens in October, November, and December. Everything. That's where everything. We have a busy fall line. Do you know how many times I hear that? If I could just get paid every time someone says that, like when people sing happy birthday, someone gets paid. Not anymore, but that was how it went for a while. And uh, yes, I would love to get that money. Everybody says it like the third and fourth quarters are unknown quarters that we really need to put the nose to the grindstone. We can't model anything. We have no idea. Bullshit is the answer to that. You have maybe a year or multiple years of data as to how that third and fourth quarter reacts as opposed to the rest of your year. So you can easily try to come up with what your averages look like in terms of performance versus actuals for the whole rest of the year and then that very important end of the year. Then that's how you would begin to model your 2025 end of the year. So, with me saying that, it's not to shame y'all out there that aren't doing this right. It's just to give you a different perspective on why it's important. Now, I can say, if you don't plan, you plan to fail. I could just whip out a book of sayings and just start saying shit. But the truth is this: you don't know what's going to happen in your organization at any point. The world is changing very quickly. And I'm not saying, oh, it's down to politics or it's global warming or it's tariffs or whatever it is. There's lots of factors that you are not in control of. So, what you have to do is get ahead of those factors so that you can be nimble and you can change organically when needed. Okay. This is about being flexible. All right. So, rather than let's get that brainstorming meeting at mid September for our big October push, why are you doing it then? How the hell are you going to get all that stuff done? Let's hire an agency. Shit, it's coming to me now. So, you know what I'm saying? It does happen. So, at my agency, we're pros at this because we're prepared for this. We know that as soon as it gets into September, we're going to get end of the year marketing campaigns thrown onto us by people that are not prepared, or they had some changes, or something happened where it really prevented them from being able to do all of their planning and execution. Totally fine. That's why we're here. We're here to help. But wouldn't you like to have that money that you're spending on me in your own budget for maybe increasing your advertising, that you can make more sales and then you are the marketing superstar, or coming up with a new initiative that is pre-planned out and creates a barnstorming effect that gives you such great results in the third and fourth quarter that you were an absolute star and your company's being super successful. That sounds pretty good. And I'm not trying to push business away, but I'm just telling you this happens. And it happens because of human nature. Nobody really likes to get too far ahead of it. Even if you're dealing with a whole team of people, you start talking about, hey, we're going to have a fourth quarter marketing planning meeting in August. They're going to be like, get out of here. I'm like, the kids are going back to school. I'm just coming back from vacation. I don't want to do this right now. Okay. Don't include that person in your planning. Do it yourself. Do it for yourself. Do it for your company. Do it for your brands. Make sure that you are the one that is getting prepared. Now, just to give you a little bit more coloring on this, what happens if, like, God forbid, something negative happens within your company where they have to let go some people because of whatever reason is out there? If that's the case, who's going to help you? Who's going to do this? So now you don't have anything, you don't know what you're going to do, and you're just going to start scaling things back. When people are let go from a company, that usually indicates one of two things: the business model is changing. So, for example, we had a larger agency at the Go agency, and I made the choice to change it so it was a little bit more boutique, so I could get involved more in the campaigns because I'm a nerd and I'm selfish. But what if it wasn't that? What if we just didn't have any clients and I'm letting people go? So, if I'm letting people go, that means I need more money, meaning I need more clients, meaning my marketing has to support it, but I have no plan of action. So what am I dialing up? I can't dial up shit. I just have to just roll up my sleeves and dive in head first. And that puts a lot of undue stress on you. That also hurts a lot of creativity, and it also hurts a lot of motivation. And I've seen people get stuck in those positions recently. And guess what they decided to do? Get the hell out of that organization, leave it, quit their job, and then either become a consultant or find a different company to work for. So, just to put this into perspective, you never know what's going to be coming your way, but it's easier to pivot when you have a roadmap. So, if you know the direction, like you've gone home every single day the same exact way for years, and then there's a detour, you know how you can get home again. You just have to work the detour for a little while. And this is the same thing. If you have a way of doing things and it's planned out, then you're able to organically change it as you need to. So there are a lot of things that are out there right now that are going to change your marketing. I mean, I don't want to predict anything, but I would say that just you should get ready. So, what would I say if I was saying to you, these are the things that you should focus on? You need to look at what money that you have available left in your marketing budget that has been allocated through the end of the year or is readily available. First thing first, well, that has not been allocated is your mad money, I guess you can say. It's one of two things. It's your amplifier based off of success, meaning if your digital marketing campaign, maybe your ads on Google are getting a killer ROAS, you found a new audience, you have this great ad creative, and it's really killing it. You will have extra money right there to allocate to that success to create further amounts of success and scale. Or what happens if TikTok just completely goes away and that was your main place where you were making sales? Then you can reallocate that budget to something else. So that's your existing budget that's already been allocated that you can then push to something else. But what do you push it to? This is where the plan comes in place. Because let me talk about another eventuality. Maybe you are going to a conference in the beginning of October and TikTok goes under at the end of September. If you wanted to amplify more things around that conference, then it's like, okay, our next big tent pole is that conference. What can we do to get that money from our TikTok ads that have been allocated and move it into something that is supporting that conference to really make a larger splash? Maybe there's some last minute ad placements that you can score in the programs. Maybe there's a party that you could throw at the conference in your hotel or something for big clients. There's different ways of doing it, right? But having your roadmap set up allows for these detours to happen in not a way that's like, oh shit, I'm screwed. First thing is budget. The next thing I would look at is every event that you have coming up. Why events? Because anything in person it's a money suck and it's a time suck, and you need to get way ahead of it. So I'm going to do a conference in Las Vegas. This is an example. I'm not. So if I was going to Las Vegas and I was going to do a conference and I was going to have a booth and I was going to some of my employees and my team members attend, and I was going to do a speech there or a breakout session, education. That's a lot of planning. That's a lot of resources that are going to get sucked up by that. Also, how am I going to amplify and cross market what's going on in that instance with the rest of my marketing strategy? Again, this is why that planning is important, because you can get ahead of it. What you don't want to be doing is designing the flyers that you're going to be handing out in your booth 2 weeks before on Canva. You know what I mean? Just get a gun and shoot me like that, or not having your marketing person designing your materials and having a salesperson do it because your marketing person's so busy. Poor planning or asset distribution. What you want to do is have the person that's skilled at doing what they should be doing it. Events are a time suck and they do require a lot of pre-thought. So that should be on your list as well. Then what I like to look at is what channels that we're going to be utilizing. Is it going to be our LinkedIn company page, our LinkedIn profile page for our CEO, email marketing, warm and cold? digital advertising? Are you doing an affiliate program if you're in e-commerce? What channels are you using to reach people? And what can be updated? What do we need to think about? What is special about the third and fourth quarter? What specials do you need? Are there any sales that you're doing? Is there any new services that you're going to be pushing out? What's the news? What's the haps? What's going on? What can we add into it? All of these things are really crucial in terms of being able to find out what your roadmap should look like. Now you have these things figured out, but you don't have a plan. You don't have what your campaign should be. This is when I think objectives should really be reviewed. Notice I didn't say the number one thing is what do you want to get out of the fall? Because I mentioned that you should probably be able to figure out what your fall is going to look like if you're one of those out there that says, I can't figure out the fall because I don't know how it's going to be. And the rest of the year is really flat, but then the end of the year just really zooms off. Good. Are you new to this company? Can you look at the history? If the answer to that question is no, one of your goals should be to start tracking immediately anything that you cannot find answers to. Again, if you cannot find data to support any sort of or substantiate your marketing strategy, you need to begin to find those measures and start tracking them immediately. Now, do you have to go and find the most sophisticated tracking program? Sure, if you want to waste time. That's like cleaning your bedroom before you write your report at university. It's just a delay. What you want to do is dive in head first. Just create a spreadsheet and throw the information on there and then format it later when you have enough to actually make it interesting. But what you want to do is find out what your sales goals are, what your meeting goals are. Do you have a sales team? What's their meeting quota? What's their conversion quota? What is the sales number you want? How many of these new services do you want to sell? How many of these products do you want to sell? What do you expect to get out of Black Friday, Cyber Monday? Are you going to compete against Amazon on the next Amazon days with one of your offers? There's a lot of things there that you can really dig into, and you can really figure out what is important and put some numbers behind it. Once you get to that point, you can then see what part of that extra investment that's left over for marketing should be put forth against those objectives. And in addition to that, you will be able to see where flex room should be. How would I know where flex room is? I would know if I'm tracking a Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale, and I expect it to hit, let's just do a round number of 100. That's the goal I have over a 3-day period. I'm on day one and I'm at 10%. I'm only at 10 of that 100. Danger is what I think immediately. And what am I going to do to get that back on track to meet that goal of 100? That is where the flexibility needs to be. You need to be able to pull and pivot based off of what you know and what your goals are. But if you don't, what happens to a lot of you out there is you don't look at anything until you do that post-mortem, because money's coming in and it's good money. It's more than you're making through the rest of the year. And that little pump of time really is misleading. So then you stack it up year on year and it is a 5% decline. Anyway, with that said, you just need to be very conscious of those elements. Now, when you're looking at your actual marketing strategy, that's something different. That's where you can start getting creative. That's where you can have brainstorming meetings. And I would urge you to focus on having these meetings in August. But Chris, half of my team is out. Are they out for the whole month? Can you not meet with people individually? Can you not put out a shared agenda that people can add to in their own time and hold them accountable for doing so? Or why didn't you do this in July then? If everyone's gone in August, why aren't you doing it in July? No, you're going to wait until everybody's back in September when nobody has time for you and you are going to be busy as shit. All right. So I know this is like hard truths and I'm on a little bit of a soapbox about this. I see this so much every year. Why don't I feel that pain anymore? Because I made the change. I was just like this because I was looking at, like I said, 30-day window. As long as I have the next month sorted out, I'm good to go. And I just got to keep rolling with the punches. Guess what? Get bit in the ass every single time. You miss opportunities. You forget things. You misplace things. You make mistakes. These are all things as a marketer we're not allowed to do. We're not allowed because there's so many owners out there and business leaders and founders that don't believe in marketing at all. They feel like marketing is just a part of their business that they have to have and just slot it in and make it work. Maybe they think that way because no marketers ever changed their mind. And maybe you need to change their mind. And that's kind of how I look at things. I'm not trying to have everybody be converted to the Church of Chris. I think it's more along the lines of if you do have these important in-depth conversations, you can prevent poor expenditures of money, wastes of money, and also get a higher level of success based off of goals that you are looking at going into that period. It's a really, really strong way of doing it. You want extra credit? Throw January in there because you're going to have that transition time from December to January when everyone says, oh, it's all over. We're nothing ever. We can't get anybody on the phone after Christmas. It's usually the second week of January. As a marketer, I love the reality. I don't want to live in that reality that you have right there because let me give you an example. Say you're an e-commerce company and you're selling supplements. Supplements are something that gives you your gut health a little bit of a lift, something like that. Then you're saying, you know what, I'm going to blow my whole cash in that Black Friday Monday period. That's where I make all my money. And as soon as it gets into, what am I going to do? Christmas takes over, the holidays take over, and then boom, no one's around because everyone's giving up everything. But you run a supplement company, and January is a new year, new you vibe always. So isn't that the prime opportunity for you to be putting your supplements in front of people? So look at it a little bit differently. Stop thinking about things how you look at them or how your boss sees them or your team sees them, and start looking at it from a different, wider perspective. If you can tie your brand in with any sort of new year, new you messaging, you should do it. And then that brings your brand to life and right at the top of people's minds when a lot of people are looking for change. A lot of people are looking for new products. They are looking for new services. They are looking to solve problems. Because who out there has ever not done a New Year's resolution? I'm sure people out there going, I never make them. Cool. You're not selling to yourself, right? You've already purchased that product. You need to sell to people that are out there. So how can you link it in? So I'm just giving you perspective here. I'm not telling you how to create your strategy. I'm telling you when you should be talking about your strategy. And it's now. Take this time and just really digest what happened this whole entire year and also what happened last third and fourth quarter. What problems did you have that you couldn't solve that you really could have attacked if you were planning things ahead of time? So my extra credit point here is look at the same time last year and see what happened. And don't say, oh, this year we've totally changed everything and sales are completely through the roof, unless you can prove that with numbers. If you can prove it with numbers and you can see that it's like a 5% increase and it's pretty standard across the time of 2025 so far, then okay, cool. Then you can put that 5% up. But there is nothing there you wouldn't improve. There's not one thing. Maybe all of your social content got no engagement. Your open rates were in the toilet for email. Maybe something like that could be something you could look at rather than just saying, hey, we got a 5% lift. So that's it. So let's just do the same shit and everything's going to be fine. I bet that you could probably push that 5% to 10 to 15 if you actually were honest to yourself about what didn't work. All right, folks, I'm off my soapbox. A bit very soapboxy today, right? I'm talking about tardiness on meetings, which is such an age-old chestnut. But again, if you're late to meetings, you are going to lose credibility with your audience and possibly respect. And then also, when you're looking at third and fourth quarter, I really want you to focus on what is important, and that is getting ahead of things. You don't know what's around the next corner on this roller coaster. So it could be a dip or it could be a climb. You don't know. What you don't want is a loop-de-loo flipping you around, and you want to be in control. And what helps you be in control is getting your shit together and then getting the rest of the people that are going to work with you on this on the same page as you so that communication can flow really easily through the remainder of the year. All right, folks, it's been a really great time talking to you, and I hope that you took some good pieces out of this conversation. Again, if you want to connect with me in any way, shape, or form, please use the links in the description of this. LinkedIn is the best thing. If you want to ask me any specific questions, which a lot of you have done, I'm totally cool. I'm not blocking you if you're bugging me. But if you have questions, please, I am here to help. The only thing I suggest is that if you're going to send me a connection request, please say that you've heard the show or give me some sort of basis to go off of, because I am contacted by a lot of people trying to sell shit. So I would rather connect with you than people that are trying to push things on me. Also, go to thegoagency.com. If you're interested in trying to learn new ways of utilizing AI, I have a free guide. And guess what all you have to do? Throw your email in and we will send you the guide as well as a few additional prompts that will help you really experience AI in a whole new way. All right, legends. I will talk to you next week. This is Christopher Tompkins for the Bulletproof Marketer signing off. Take care, everyone.